We're almost at the end of the alphabet, only a few more letters to practice. Today we're going to start with two letters that are sometimes confused, particularly in Latin America. They are C and S. C and S. In Spain, you would pronounce the first letter as C. We'll get to that in a little bit. Let's start with S. Now, an S is an S is an S. No matter where you are, whether you're in Spain or Latin America, the S is going to sound much like it does in English. Oftentimes, it's a little bit smoother, and at the end of words, it can disappear altogether, particularly in the Caribbean and parts of northern South America. Let's try this one. Sal. Sal. Salsas. Salsas. Seis. Seis. España. España. If you're from Spain, it's going to sound the same, España. If you're not from Spain, it's going to sound just like that, España. Keep that in mind. It's very important to remember. But as I mentioned before, Spain has a very different accent from the rest of the Spanish-speaking world. More on that in a little bit, but let's move on to the C. And the C can have two different sounds. It can come from the throat, or it can sound like an S. Let's practice these. Coco, coco, cuy, cuy. Cute, right? In some parts, it's a delicacy. Tucán, tucán. Now, as you've noticed, if the C is followed by an O, a U, or an A, it's going to be guttural. K. Whereas if it's followed by an I or an E, it's going to sound like an S, as in gracias. In Spain, however, it's going to come out like this, gracias. It's not a lisp. It's the way they pronounce it, and it distinguishes clearly between the S and the C. So as we practice these following words, we're going to do so first as you would hear it in Latin America, and then again as you would hear it in Spain. All right, here we go. Cinco. Cinco. Cielo. Hielo. Océano. Océano. Ceremonia. Ceremonia. César. César. Now, if you change the S and the C, you might be getting a different word. And this is where it really gets complicated in Latin America. Some people do confuse them. They switch the S for a C and a C for an S, and it's a totally different thing. Let's look at one example. Sierra, sierra, and sierra, or tierra. Spaniards make it very clear. It's not so clear in Latin America. You can choose to do either. Choose your accent. You'll probably always sound like a gringo, though, and that's okay. Keep practicing, and you'll sound less and less like a gringo. Hasta luego.